Hey guys, Tisha here, and we're back with another Sister Wives Season 5 review. This one made me feel a little uncomfortable because we were talking about, I guess the dark side of polygamy, but it didn't go as in depth as I would have wanted it to. So I felt like we should have had more episodes involving this, but they kind of skimmed over it, in my opinion. But it is a show about the Browns, and I know that they want to show a more positive side of things. So I guess that's why they just stuck it to this one episode. But we begin this episode finding out that Aspen, Logan, and Maddie are preparing to go to Utah because they're going to help this organization that works with people in the polygamist community who have decided to leave. So they basically are helping prepare a home for them. Cody, as he's finding out that some of his teens are going, is, I guess, questioning some of them. I don't know if he asked all of them. We just know that we saw him asking Aspen. And one of the things that he wanted to know is if she would be capable of speaking up for plural marriage if people are speaking against it. Basically, he's like, even though you may not have a desire to be a polygamist, will you speak up in order to protect the family? And she says yes. She said that she doesn't feel like polygamy creates abuse that people do, so she wouldn't have a problem, telling about the positive aspects of it. Christine, on the other hand, is very apprehensive about the teens going, kind of to the point where she's not sure if she trusts the founder of the organization because she says that she's heard some questionable things about her, and she wants to know, if I were to go to them and tell them that I was struggling with Cody, what would be said? Would they just try to have me leave? I don't think that it was a fair assessment of Christine to automatically assume that the point of the organization was to help them leave, because it seems like the organization is there to help them, period. If you're offering counseling, if you're offering ways to help them learn how to adjust in society, that's not just about having them leave. And then I was like, if you're questioning them so much, why wouldn't you want to go with them? Why would you send them alone, a bunch of teenagers, without an adult presence? I wonder why Leon didn't go. We didn't see Mary's child go, which I wish they would have mentioned why Leon didn't go. Anyways, despite them wondering if the perspective is going to be equal and fair, the adults still send their children to this organization without him. We see the kids arrive and they're apprehensive about what they'll encounter. They meet 4 young adults. 2 come from the Kingston family and 2 come from the FLDS. I do remember hearing a little bit about the Kingston family, but I believe it was from watching an episode of Escaping Polygamy, because that used to be my guilty pleasure. I used to watch it all the time. The Kingston family isn't, I don't want to say it isn't as strict as the FLDS, because the Kingston children seem not to be as sheltered towards certain things when it comes to the real world. And we know the FLDS, they have their own attire and they're not allowed to watch TV, and there's a lot more different rules with them. But either way, they're both coming from organizations that are polygamists. The FLDS, we find out, is the largest, and we're reminded that people like Warren Jeffs is currently in jail for a child rape. That's what Cody feels like a lot of people think of when they hear polygamy, is that they think of people who are a part of the FLDS, and he's tired of being compared to them, which we know this because we hear this in every single season. The organization that they're going to is called Holding Out Help, and it's there to give life skills that the kids were never taught, and adults, as well as support that they need. As the Brown children are talking to the FLDS kids, you can see that there are clear social differences. The ones from the Kingston community don't seem as sheltered, but they do have things that are in common with the FLDS, like arranged marriages. We meet Colleen, who is one of they call them community escapees, and she left twice. She left when she was 15 and she got caught and it didn't work out, so you end up having to go back home. And then she left again at 17. She is now 19. She has been through a lot of abuse by one of the leaders who just so happens to be her father. It's very clear that Colleen has a lot of hurt and is frustrated with what has happened to her life and what her life has become. And you can tell because she even says that when she met the Brown kids initially, she wanted to take out her anger on them because they're a part of polygamous communities and they're trying to promote it. They have been physically, emotionally, and sexually abused, according to one of the other girls, that she has several friends that she all knows who the one or all of those things have happened to. They've seen the dark side of polygamy. One of the young ladies lived in her car for a month to hide from the Kingston community after she escaped from polygamy. So not only do they leave, but they leave and some of them have to hide because they risk being caught. Neither one of them feel like polygamy can be lived successfully. And Colleen even goes a step further as to saying that she doesn't feel like it is as happy and as great of a place as the Browns tried to make it appear to be. Now, she's not completely wrong in her assessment. I feel like there were a lot of things that were going on with the moms in the Brown family that we were not aware of. We can see little patches of unhappiness and jealousy and stuff like that. But I do believe that in the beginning, the children were happy that them living in one home made them, feel like a united front. And they really did feel like they had a bunch of best friends. They go to the host home, which is the place where Colleen is staying, and she says that it's kind of like an adoption without an adoption, that these people are more her family now than her actual family. She says that she, growing up, would only see her father on special occasions, and he was treated like a king. So they would be eating out of paper plates, and he would be eating out of glass plates, and his stuff was kept in a certain place away from the rest of the other stuff. Like, he was treated like the king that he is believed to be. Maddie they're talking back and forth about, what they've been through in polygamy. She says that she would like for them to come to her home so they can see the different side of polygamy. Logan and Maddie both say that they still do not want to be polygamous, but now Aspen, who for several other seasons was saying that she doesn't want to be a polygamist, is saying that she does. I wonder if her change came because she was constantly being asked if she wanted to be a polygamist for the past 4 seasons before season 5, because she kept saying she didn't want to be, or if she really did at that time want to be one. We know she has no desire to be one now. We know that when she got married to her husband, she made it clear that she didn't want to be one. So I just want to know, what made her change her opinion again. Colleen asked how, because Aspen was saying that she wanted to have sister wives. She asked how she would feel about her husband being with another woman, and she said that it's something that she would have to work through with polygamy. I can see why Colleen thought that was kind of dumb of her to say, but that's what they're taught. They're taught that they have to work on their jealousy and things of that nature. They're loading some of the desk and stuff into the home that 2 of the other young ladies will be moving into. And there is a picture of Warren Jess on everything, on the computer, on the desk. And they say that whenever they see this picture of Warren Jess, they're supposed to pray. They're supposed to pray for him and pray that he is going to be released from prison. So the fact that these young ladies who were at one point going to be forced to have marriages with older men or not be able to marry because he controlled all of that are saying that they had to pray for a man who was put into jail for raping other young girls and for the things that he did against some of the members of their families and stuff, and you have to pray for him. It's a little creepy. And I do remember seeing on documentary that that's exactly what they did. This is why some people struggle with religion, because there are people who take advantage of kind-hearted people and have them doing crazy things like what the FLDS did. We then see the 4 kids coming to Vegas to meet the Browns. Cody felt uncomfortable as soon as he met Colleen. He said that the men are considered the enemy. They tell their different experiences, and Cody just wants them to show them that it's not that way with them. We find out about how fathers got sent away to repent. One of the young ladies was crying and saying that she doesn't know where her father even is, that just one day she came home and her father was giving everyone hugs and telling them that he has to go away to repent. He doesn't know where he's going to go. And then another man was sent into the house and told that he was now going to be their father and basically watch over them. So fathers were being sent away, but it wasn't necessarily because they did anything wrong. Sometimes it was even in cases where that Warren Jeffs or other leaders just thought that they were threats, so they sent them away. These people told you who to marry. They had young girls getting with older men. Like one of the girls, she says that she has 27 moms. That was the one out of the Kingston family. I think their experiences are valid, but it was a lot that they were saying, too much to talk about. Colleen says that she doesn't trust polygamy. We hear Cody talking about how he values being a father and how he wants to put forth effort with his children. We know that that's changed, because I don't think he values that anymore. He said sometimes his wives will check him and tell him what he's doing is okay, and he's okay with it. And other times they'll check him and he doesn't like it. But at no point is he allowed to get out and say to his family, like, you gotta go, just because he doesn't like something they say. So he didn't tell them to get out, but he did tell them that they could leave at any time. I think Cody wanted some of the wives to leave long before, but between money and what he claimed to believe for religious reasons, he kept them around. Hearing him say in this moment that he can't tell them to get out just reminds me of that. As they're out on a picnic, it's their last day there, we see Aspen and Maddie come out in FLDS dresses, and the family immediately starts talking negatively about it, about how they see it as oppressive and how they wish they would take it off. And like they were saying some things like, sometimes the Browns come across as like they feel like they're better than other people. Just my opinion. So Mary points out that it's not fair to see that attire and then jump to conclusions about it. And Robin says, well, I want to hear a positive story about them. I've yet to hear a positive story about them. I struggle with it all, me personally, because I think that the Browns feel like they're better than some of these polygamous communities because they don't have the child rapes and they don't have the arranged marriages, but they do have patriarchy, and they have created a society where women are supposed to be less than men. They've created a society where women are expected to stay with these men even though these men aren't treating them right, even when they're not happy. We saw on the bed at one point when they were moving into the house that one of the FLDS children on her mom's headboard, it said, keep sweet, which was basically a terminology that was used in the FLDS community that tells them that when something is going on, they have to internally deal with things. That way it doesn't cause an explosion. You're supposed to be sweet and deal with it inside until it disappears. Which you're talking about the FLDS, but that's basically the same thing that Mary was kind of telling Christine to do in season 4, when she told her that when she's struggling with Cody, instead of telling him about it, that sometimes she has to internalize it and work on herself and to think positive. That's another way to keep sweet. So these are the types of things that I'm saying about the Browns sometimes that I feel like the Browns don't realize about themselves. Then came the thing that pissed me off the most about this entire episode. We're talking about children who went through legitimate torture and witnessed it. A young girl was really abused, And I never want to be that person that calls someone who's gone through some type of violence a liar. But the fact that Robin used this time to let us know that she was in an abusive relationship with her ex pissed me off, because it didn't have anything to do with what was being said in that moment. We're talking about Mary saying that we can't look at the attire and automatically feel oppression, and Robin then correlated that to her abuse. She said people gave him the benefit of the doubt over and over and over again, and they did not trust her. What did that have to do with Mary saying something about not jumping to conclusions because of their attire? There are Amish people who kind of dress like the FLDS. I mean, they have head coverings or whatever. And I haven't heard of things like what the FLDS experienced. So I do understand what Mary was saying when she was talking about not jumping to conclusions. I do not believe that anything happened to Robin. None of that was brought up in her divorce proceedings. And Robin is doing to me what she always has done, which is lying. So I do not feel sorry for her. I don't think that she was abused. But if she was, this was not the moment for her to talk about it. She's a damn liar. They know people are being hurt. There was no point in her doing this whole lecture thing about her abuse and how she suffered and then trying to correlate it to what those young ladies went through. There is no comparison, in my opinion. I'm just saying. Christine says that they do need help, and she does want the best for the teens. That even though they're taught that they shouldn't talk to social workers and stuff like that, that she's glad that these young ladies have these people, because she was wrong about Tanya. She always thought that Tanya's organization was there to take people away, but it seems that they're there to really genuinely help them. Them being taught not to trust social workers, Christine and them, kind of made me feel like it's allowed them to be made naive to certain things, to a lot of things, because they're in this little bubble that you can tell them anything. Like how you can keep telling your kids that they were going to get taken away because y'all were being investigated, but you hadn't even spoken to an official. These are the naive things that y'all allowed to happen. Because part of me really feels like they believed Cody when he said, we got to get out of here before they take me away, because of the things that they may have experienced in the past and because of how Cody was amping it up. Christine said that she didn't know that men could be bastards and that they use polygamy as a sense of control. I bet she knows now that they can be. And I bet she can see how Cody used polygamy as a sense of control. Maybe not to the same degree, but he did use it. Overall, it was a good experience for both parties. The young ladies who felt really, really strong opinions about polygamy still had them, but not to the same degree. And some of them even said that they believe that Cody and the Browns are a good family. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Like and comment and subscribe. You know what? I say let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, but like, comment, and subscribe is the same thing as saying let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. So thanks for dealing with me and my not so bright moments. Until next time.